Still on the road. So
Yeah.
we're going live. We're live. Yeah, da, da, la. Yeah, 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 da, da, la.
Live? Where's it being broadcast?
YouTube.
What the heck is this? What's
Oh,
this?
nice.
Hi. Play nice.
Yeah, da, da, la.
Apple juice good with vodka?
Huh?
Apple juice is good with vodka?
Could be it. Let's want to try it out. I don't know. We could try it out. Put a few drops. This morning I put some lachaim in my coffee.
And? Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
Irish
tastes
coffee.
good.
Irish coffee, yeah.
Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Masai,
Someone told me it's vodka because the Rebbe drink it.
Is
Is there like, is that a thing? Do we drink the...
See how it goes together.
Maybe I'll try it. Yeah, thank you.
I almost don't feel the vodka. I have to maybe put a lot.
Okay. When you go to the doctor, you have to fill out all these forms, right? It says, how many times a week do you drink?
Oh,
Stuff
yeah.
like this. Yeah, do you smoke? Do you this, da, da, da. I usually put down maybe once a week, occasionally drink like on Shabbos. I'm gonna have to put that every day of the week.
Because this week is Farbrengen. Hey, Masai, Kabbalasina, Yavodo, Manasakapuza. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Masai.
What are the words to this song?
It says what about the Hashem Tiv Rosh Hashanah, Tov, Tov. 1 second. It was Tov. It was Zion. Tov. I think it was Tov Kuf Zion. He says he waited, and the Neshama went up to Shemayim, and he said that was the biggest aliyah that Neshama ever had in his life. Then he entered the chamber, and he said his son was very, very happy over there in Shemayim, and they were wondering why they're happy for maybe he died. That's why they're so happy that his Neshama like came to be in Shemayim. And then he realized that no, he's still alive. Like he's still, but his neshama yad aliyas and neshama. This Baal Shem Tov would have this elevation of his soul many times. His soul would go up to heaven. And he said he was going from chamber to chamber until he came to the chamber of Mashiach himself. And there he sees Mashiach teaching, the neshama of Mashiach, and Malach Mashiach is teaching Torah to the Tanoim and Amiroim. And then he went up to Mashiach and he asks Mashiach, when are you going to come? Hey, Masai Ka'osiman, when are you going to come?
Masai.
Ka'osiman. And that's actually similar Lashon, almost same exact words. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin that Rabbi Shua ben Levi asked Eliyahu where's Mashiach, and he told him where Mashiach is, and he came to Mashiach, and he also asked him, Masai Ka'osiman, he used the same words.
To Eliyahu Navi.
No, to Mashiach. He asked Mashiach, Masai Ka'osiman. So Gemara answers, Mashiach answered him, Mayoim, which is a good lesson for us. You know, people ask when's Mashiach going to come. So Mashiach himself gave the answer. He says Mashiach's answer is Hayoim, today. Later, the day passed, and Mashiach didn't come. So he went back to Eliyahu Navi, where he went back to Mashiach. He said, you're a liar. He said, you're going to come today. He didn't come. So he told him, he quoted a pasuk in the Tehillim, by Choneranano, where we say, Hayoim im Mekoide Tishmo. That's the pasuk. Today, if you're going to listen to my voice, if you're going to listen to my voice, then I'm going to come today. But what's interesting is that Mashiach didn't tell that to him lechatchila. Didn't tell that to him lechatchila. He just told him ayoy. Va'achar ha'maisa, he gave him an explanation in the Kol Tishmo, which maybe there's a, I'm thinking as I'm talking, that a person needs to wait every day the Mashiach is coming today. No pull him, no explanations. If this and if that and if that and none of that. If la'achar ha'maisa he didn't come, then you give some answer and you say, oh, why didn't he come? Because when are you giving explanations about why Mashiach didn't come? That's on the past. But on the future, it's now. When is Mashiach going to come? Right now. Why didn't he come That's today. Why didn't he come 10 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever? For that, yeah, there's some explanation. We didn't do enough. We still need to do more, whatever. But on the future, we need to say now. And that's what Malach HaMashiach himself answered in the Gemara. There's an interesting video. A guy came by dollars, either a Rebbe or like a rabbi, and he tells the Rebbe that he was by the Rebbe 20 years ago by Farbrengen of Yutas Kislev. And you saw the video?
Hmm.
And he tells the Rebbe that 20 years ago, when he came to the Rebbe's Farbrengen into Kislev, he walked up to the Rebbe in the middle of the Farbrengen, and the Rebbe gave him a bracha that his yeshiva and his institutions, whatever, should continue growing and growing, and Ad Bias Goyal Tzedek, till the coming of the Goyal Tzedek, the righteous Redeemer. So he tells the Rebbe by dollars, and I see that it was fulfilled. That our Moisid is growing and growing for the past 20 years, and it's expanding. So then the Rebbe tells him, oh, but who is the Goyal Tzedek? The Rebbe said, it's going to grow and grow and grow until the coming of the Goyal. So the Rebbe asked him, when's the Goyal? But where's the Goyal Tzedek? So he tells the Rebbe, Hayoy, today, like the Gemara says. Then he finished off the pasuk in Bukali Tishmo. So the Rebbe was upset, like that he ended it off, and the Rebbe tells him, "Who makes tonight? The Eibishter makes the tonight. Hashem makes it tonight, so that's his business." That he says in Bukali Tishmo. But a yid needs to say Yom Pashas with no Bukali Tishmo. He needs to say today.
It's like a Moshe Rabbeinu give the Bnei Yisrael bracha, like Yosef, Hashem should increase you 1,000-fold, and then afterwards he didn't complain. What are you
And
limiting?
if you're limiting
Why
it,
are you limiting our bracha over here?
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Aleph Ba'amin.
So the verse is Me'emasai
So the Gemara
Kasimar.
says a Mosai Kasimar. What are you going to come? So the Baal Shem Tov says the same thing. This is what he writes in a letter. The Baal Shem Tov writes this in a
Yeah.
letter to Rabbi, I think his brother-in-law or something, Keshin Kidaver, if I'm not mistaken, and he writes to him that he had his Chaliyas of Hashem. He asked him, Mashiach, when are you going to come? A Mosai Kasimar. So Melech HaMashiach answered the Baal Shem Tov. Question is, if Futsu, I actually have original handwriting, whatever writes it. The Rebbe, basically, Mashiach answered, Futsu, my Nisacha or Chutza?
Kisha
Futsu, my Nisacha. Futsu, my.
Weird way. Lichisha Yafutu.
Yeah, le, like when. Kisha, or whatever. The way the Rebbe would say it is Futsu, my Nisacha, Chutza.
Kisha
Futsu, my Nisacha, Chutza. When you will spread out your well springs of the Baal Shem Tov will be spread out all over the world till Chutza, then I'm going to come. That's what Malach HaMashiach.
Yafutsu.
My
It will be spread.
It's a lashon in Mishle. It's a pasuk in Mishle, or the hell is. It's a lashon in Tanakh. Yafutsu by Nisacha Chutza. So the Baal Shem, the Mashiach, answered to the Baal Shem Tov with the words of the pasuk. Yafutsu my Nisacha Chutza. When your wealth springs will be spread out till Chutza, till the most outer places, then I'm going to come. And the Rebbe Rayatz and Rebbe explained he's not just. So first of all, he's not. I heard people misinterpreting the story, and they're saying it's like he was asking him a time. When is he going to come? So he told him a time. When this time, when the world was gonna, when you see this time happening, I'm gonna come. No, he's giving him a He's telling him, you want me to come faster, so do your futzah and chutzah faster, and I'm gonna come faster. Now why? What's the connection? Why when you futzah and chutzah, that's when Mashiach is gonna come? Is it just like
a dwelling place? Like creating a dwelling place for him to feel comfortable.
Exactly. That's the key. Exactly.
But also spreading out is different than people actually learning it. You can spread out. Spreading out also has to have people. It has to reach people.
That's the point. Yeah. Not only that you're spreading it out, and no one, and it's not.
It has to be hot.
Exactly. It needs to be. Right. That's what it means. Not only that you're you're talking to the world. You're going, you're going to send a shliach to chutza, and no one said he's going to just, I don't know. Then that's not a real lechshia futzu. Lechshia futzu, means that it's going to penetrate the chutza. And like you said, what's Mashiach going to teach? This is what we're learning in the Kudus and Yana. Mashiach is going to teach the level of Yechida in Torah. In Torah, there's 5 levels. Just like in the Neshama, there's 5 levels. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida. Right, you wrote that down in your Tanya thing. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida. So to in Torah, there's 5 levels. There's Pshat, Emes, Drush, Soid, and Chassidus. But they're connected, these 5 levels of the Neshama. So this is what Moshiach is telling the Baal Shem Tov, that when your teachings, which is the level of Yechida in Torah, it's going to penetrate the whole world. It's going to be spread out, and it's going to reach even Chutza. Then I'm going to be ready to come. Then the world is going to be a kli. The world is going to be, like you said, a dwelling place. The world is going to be a vessel to handle
all this light,
all the light of Moshiach. Moshiach doesn't want to just come and
nobody will recognize.
No one will recognize and no one will understand him, his language that he's talking. He wants us to learn the language, his language. We should all speak his language. When he comes, we should understand. And therefore, the whole world should learn Chassidus. This is what about Shem Tov. So that's what the words of this song are. Yeah, someone made this tune not too many years ago. I mean, whatever, like 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, something like that. But in the past, and he took these words of the Shem Tov and he made this naked. Okay, now we're going to learn something on the Parsha. Yeah, Ben was very into Parshas Bilam for much of his mind, even though it wasn't Parshas Bilam, but you were living with Parshas Bilam. Yeah, no way. I also live with Parshas Bilam. I learned this piece almost every day since it came out. I used to do it for sure every day. But almost every single day I do this. But especially when it is this week's Parsha, how much more so it's kedai to learn it and to explain it the way the Rebbe teaches it and explains it. Yeah. So let's look at that.
My favorite line in the whole Parshas Balak is "Kamos nafshi mos yisharim." I should.
What's the translation on it?
Bilam said about himself that my soul should die the death of the righteous people, and my end should be like them. Like he's talking about the Jewish people. I should be like the Jews when I die. The Goyim, when they die, they want to be like the Jews. They don't want to live like the Jews. When they die, then they want
the paradise. They want the Gan Eden of the Jew, but they don't want to work hard to get there.
It's a lot just want the big yoke.
If you have this, 1 second, I'm thinking you guys want. Maybe I'll practice. I have the actual book.
I can put it on my telephone.
No, I have more than one book from the Rebbe. You guys go look inside. 1 second.
Let's see how many people are watching.
My Joe is okay. He has an ear infection. Hope he's all right. I'm trying to avoid giving him antibiotics so he can fight it off himself.
This is the book the Rebbe gave out. So now we're all gonna, all of you guys are zoche to learn it from within the Rebbe's original handwriting. Something that was from the Rebbe's hand. See why you were with it today, yeah? Whatever it is, at least is.
Didn't go to with it every day.
Okay.
Which one are we doing here?
Halacha Aleph. And then we're going to explain with Hashem's help. This was in the Rebbe's holy hands. The Rebbe gave this to my grandmother. This Rebbe gave to my grandfather. This Rebbe gave to my mother.
Okay.
So he's also to learn from something that was in the Rebbe's holy hands. Okay, Perek Achad Asher, the 11th chapter. It says that Rambam, Melech HaMashiach Osid Lamoid. The King Mashiach is going to stand up. Well, the Hachzir Malchus David, the Yoshna, is going to bring back the kingdom, the rulership of David HaMelech. The king is going to be from the descendants of David. He's going to return that, the kingdom, the monarchy of David HaMelech. The Yoshna, to the way it was in the olden times, to the first original kingdom, the way it was in the very, very beginning. Uvayna Amigdash, second. Uvayna Amigdash, he'll build a base Amigdash. And he will gather all the Yidden from wherever they are, all over the whole world, will bring them back to Eretz Yisrael. And all the laws of the Torah will return to be applicable in his days, just as it was in the olden times. So because he's going to build the Beis Hamikdash, therefore we're going to be able to bring the sacrifices in the Beis Hamikdash. Because he's going to gather everyone to Eretz Yisrael, therefore va'oisin shmitin v'yoivli. So we're going to be able to keep the Shabbos here in Eretz Yisrael, not to work the land in the 7th year, and Yovel is not to work the land the 50th year, and to free all your slaves and to return your land back to its original owners. All of these laws are applicable only when you have all the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. So because you just said a line before that Mashiach is going to bring everyone back to Eretz Yisrael, so therefore we're able to do Shemitah and Yovel. Kachol mitzvasa ha'amura b'Torah. Like all the mitzvahs that the Torah talks about, we're going to be able to do when Mashiach comes. Okay. Now the Rambam continues. So now the Rambam basically just said what Mashiach is going to do.
We don't keep any of these laws of Shemitah.
We do it now with the Rabbanon, but it's not with the Iraisa. In order to do it, the pasuk says you need to have Kol Yeshiveha Aleha. All the Yidden need to be settled on Eretz Yisrael. When it says all the Jewish people, it doesn't mean literally every single Jew. It means a majority of Jews. Because one guy goes out of Eretz Yisrael to get married, for example. That's it. He messes up for the whole Jewish people. It doesn't work like that.
Right, one is a very small amount, but you're saying that
it needs to be
51%.
Exactly. If you have 51%, that's enough to do Shemitah v'Yovel.
Aren't we almost at 51% in there at Israel?
I don't know. I'm not sure. From even from and not from and all the Jewish people in the whole world, I don't know.
No, there's still a lot of Yidden in America, actually. Probably the same amount in America as there are in Israel, no?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard people saying that it's like a lot, but I don't know. Whatever it is, but the bottom line is, the Rambam says that this is really Mashiach's job to make sure we're in Eretz Yisrael and have a majority of the Jews and able to do Shemitah v'Yovel. Okay, now the Rambam continues. Okay, anyone that does not believe in him, or anyone that does not wait for him to come. Someone's not waiting for him.
Wait is to think about it.
Yeah, to want it in very simple English. This is the way the Rebbe says in simple English is the Mashiach is something that you want.
Come to the Farbrengen. There's a Farbrengen now. No, it's at Rabbi Zagway's house. She's in camp in upstate New York. Oh, you know what? We have a house full of teenage girls. One of them can run over. Call again.
Okay. So anyone that doesn't believe in him or anyone that doesn't wait for him, which means that you want it to come. That's what Machakal B'Yosef means in simple words. This is something that you feel that you were missing it. You're not complete without it. And how are you going to be complete when you get that thing? If someone feels that he's complete without it, then he's missing something very important. But a guy who feels that this whole Mashiach business doesn't add anything to him, or not only that it doesn't add, even if you look at it, it needs to be not only add, it needs to be something that you're not yourself without it. You're not a complete person. Someone feels he's missing a leg, he's missing an arm. You need to feel like you're missing something, and therefore you want it to come to complete you. If someone thinks he's perfect without Mashiach, he's full, he's satisfied, he's good. Mashiach is nothing more than some ice cream and some dessert that you don't have to have it. That's a problem. It's not a dessert.
It's different if you learn about Moshiach and doesn't need him, or just doesn't know anything about Moshiach.
So that's something else, right? If someone doesn't know nothing, so then that's not his fault. Right, that's not his fault. But if someone knows and he does it and he purposely
he's good without it.
Yeah. Whatever, there's some rabbis that say not like that. They say the Briskirov says What's the chiddush of the Gimel Ikrim? What's the difference between the 13 foundations of Yiddishkeit? There's the Rambam sets up 13 foundations of Yiddishkeit out of the whole Tariq Consensus. He says these 13 foundations is that everyone has to know it. And if someone doesn't know it, he's an apokoides. So, and he says, what's if someone doesn't know? No one told him he doesn't know. It said, "Anabuchdik apokoides is if an apokoides." This is his famous line. They say in the name of the brisket of.
It's still not Picardus.
At the end of the day, he's not doing what he needs to do. So he's still. But the Rebbe, I remember I looked into this a while ago, like Mamish, and from the Rebbe I saw the Rebbe doesn't learn like that. The Rebbe doesn't have Mamish that calm like him. It's more that he needs to know and not and like not want it and just say yeah whatever. He doesn't even he knows what it is, but he doesn't take it serious. Like says I don't care. That's mainly what the Vart is. Okay, whatever. Yeah, we'll continue.
Do the Briskers, they're very into the Rambam, the Briskers.
Right.
Do they have any big svarim written up on this part of the Rambam?
So what's very interesting, when I got my hands on the Greece, I ended up climbing on the Rambam. So obviously, the first thing I did was I went straight to the back to see if they have anything, and they don't. In their official Sefarim, in the official Sefer, agrees. What is it? Agrees al Chidushi agrees al Rambam. Chidushi agrach al Rambam. They don't have. Maybe they have.
Push. Okay.
Shali, no, no. Like it, no. C'est על יד הזפן, מי ששם את זה, שם את זה על יד הזפן. Okay.
Is your neighbor?
He's not, I don't know who it is. Okay.
So they didn't have.
But they do. Can not in the elite shot even a shiva or whatever. But they do. But he does have on the Rambam. He has in other. They have many things that it's known that he said over Mikhail Shmuel. There's a sefer called Haggadah Shal Pesach Beis Brisk, and over there he has on the Rambam and this and this Malachim. There are. And he learns the Rambam actually very, very strong. There are. Someone made a whole sefer, I think, called Mishman Halevi. It's all about the his chidushim on Mashiach from the Greece, or and waiting for Mashiach and his whatever. But he has on it, yeah, he does. But in his official sefer, he doesn't have. At least not in the Hilchos Malachim part. Maybe earlier, somewhere else in the Rambam, there is whatever. It was disconnected to begin with, but it's the cover of this. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue over here. Now the Rambam continues. Yeah, so anyone that doesn't believe in Mashiach, or anyone that doesn't wait for Mashiach, he's not only denying in all the other prophets, right? And like the Rambam is going to say soon, the Rambam over here doesn't bring any proofs for Mashiach from the prophets. He's going to say right now, he's just going to bring from Chumash. 3 places in Chumash. Why doesn't he bring nothing from the prophets, from the Nevi'im and Ksuvim? He says, because all of these books are full about Mashiach, so there's no need to bring a proof for something that this is what it's packed and loaded. It's like someone saying, "Oh, like you just asked me, does the Rebbe have anything on this Rambam?" Right? Does the Rebbe have anything on this Rambam? Imagine you would ask me, does the Rebbe ever speak about this Rambam? You asked me about degrees.
Yeah.
The degrees speak. By the Rebbe, it's not even a question. You have here a whole sefer, 700 pages. He spoke nonstop. So wouldn't it even be a question to see, did he speak about this? But someone that's a Chiddush, him, he also spoke about it. So this is what the Rambam is saying over here. The Nevi'im, the Greece is the Rav of Brisk. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of Brisk from Soloveitchik.
The Grizz is like a Russian.
Famous Greece, right? What was his name?
What's his name?
Yeah. Of Yosef Doif, yeah? Yitzchak Zev Halevi. Soloveitchik. So he was
Soloveitchik.
so he was a very famous rabbi. So he has a sefer on the Rambam. So here the Rambam is saying he's not only denying in all the other prophets, because that's self-understood that he's denying in the prophets if someone doesn't believe in the Sheikh, because you have books and books of the prophets, full chapters one after another that are all talking about the Gula and the Sheikh and everything. So Rambam says, I don't need to bring you any proofs that he's denying in the prophets if he doesn't believe in the Sheikh. Elo Torah, he's even denying in the Chumash, in Chamisha Chumash Torah, over Moshe Rabbeinu and in Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeah. Now, where does the Chumash talk about Mashiach? What does Moshe Rabbeinu talk about Mashiach? So the Rambam says, "Should I Torah heida alav?" Because the Torah itself testified clearly on him about Mashiach about the Gula. Where's the proof? The first proof, Shanamar, he said. The pasuk says, "V'shav Hashem elikecha shaluscha." Hashem will return all the Jewish people that are in captive, that are all over, all the settlements of the Jewish people, wherever they are around the world. Hashem will return it back to where it belongs, to the Eretz Yisrael. Hashem will have mercy on you. Hashem will return, and he'll gather you. And the pasuk continues. If a Jew is going to be found in the corner of the world, here it says in the corner of the heaven, in the corner of the world, some outskirts, Hashem will bring you, Hashem will return you. So this is a clear pasuk where the Torah explicitly talks about the coming of Mashiach. Where is this? This is in Parshas Nitzavim, towards the end of the whole Torah, and the end of Chumash Devarim, the last Chumash. This is the first proof the Rambam brings. How the Rambam says, "Ve'elu advarim ha'meforashim b'Torah, hem koilelim kol advarim shenemru al dei kol hanavim." So elu advarim, these words that I just said, ha'meforashim b'Torah, that the Torah explicitly talks about Mashiach clearly, hem koilelim kol advarim. In these few psukim, it includes everything shenemru al dei kol hanavim. Everything that was said through all the prophets is included in these psukim.
But he's saying God is going to return everybody.
Right.
So that's God.
Right. Very good. Perfect. That's what the Rebbe says. That's your. That's why the Rambam continues, because it doesn't say Mashiach. The Rambam cannot just bring the first proof. The Rambam needs to add another proof, and that's from this week's parsha, from Parshas Bilam. This is what the Rambam continues. After Parshas Bilam Namar, so too in Parshas Bilam it says, V'sham Niba. Over there it says, there he prophesied B'shnei HaMashiachim, about the two Mashiachs. So right now you got your answer. The first proof doesn't say Mashiach. Therefore, the Rambam doesn't just stop over here and say, okay, let's move on. Next halacha. He needs to bring another proof from this week's parsha, because here we're already talking about a person, not just Hashem, but a person is going to bring the Gula. And like the Rambam said earlier, boy, anyone that doesn't believe in him. Hillel Hazakin said, Hillel said there's no Mashiach. Did you heard of such a line? Hillel Hazakin said there's no Mashiach. What do you think? What did he mean? There's no Mashiach. Was he like some gangster down the road?
There's no it's going to be in the form of a man, he's saying. So maybe his a Moshiach, his mind was like something above nature, sort of thing.
He was saying there's no Mashiach. Huh? Yes, he was saying there's no Mashiach. What does it mean there's no Mashiach? There's no person Mashiach. But the Gula is going to come through Hashem himself.
Uh-huh.
So now the Rebbe says, if the Rambam would just stop over here, Hillel would say, hey, look, God's going to return you. Doesn't say a person. It just says God. But the Rambam emphasizes that what a person needs to believe in him. The Rambam said earlier, boy, anyone that doesn't believe in him. So now that's why the Rambam brings this proof from this week's parsha, which this is proving why Hillel Hazakin was wrong. And why doesn't the Rambam go like that? Because this week's parsha talks clearly that the Gul is going to come through a person. But here the Rambam doesn't just say one person; he says there's two Mashiachs, which this itself needs explanation.
So Hillel holds like Rashi.
What do you mean?
That's not talking about, just talking about David.
Yeah, even according to Rashi, the last pasuk is talking about Mashiach. It says, "Vayered me Yaakov, the heaven started to me
Uh-huh.
here." And that Rashi says it's going on Mashiach. But the Rambam doesn't look like Rashi, and the Rambam holds that that's not pshat. The Rebbe has a whole sikha why the Rambam learns like this. Okay, so there are two Mashiachs. Okay, who's the two Mashiachs?
Hmm.
Who do you think are the two Mashiachs?
Moshiach ben David
And who's the second
and
Mashiach?
Moshiach, who's the other one? Ben David and
So there's people say Ben Yosef.
Yosef.
So but that's not what the Rambam is going to say over here. Most people think, but here the Rambam says there's two Mashiachs.
Which one comes first?
In the Gemara it says first Mashiach Ben Yosef comes, and then Mashiach Ben David comes. Mashiach Ben
Yosef,
Yosef.
meaning Yosef Atzadik?
No, one of the descendant of Yosef is going to come, and he's going to start fighting over the Goyim. He's going to fight wars, and he's going to get killed in the middle. And then Mashiach Ben David is going to come and finish off the job. And here, what does the Rambam say? What's the two Mashiachs? Not Ben Yosef and Ben David. The Rambam doesn't say that. He says the Mashiach Harishin, who's in the first Mashiach. Bilam prophesies about the first Mashiach. Shahu David. That's going on David HaMelech. Who's the first Mashiach? David HaMelech, not Mashiach Ben Yosef. Now, what did David do? He saved the Jewish people from the hands of those that caused them pain and anguish and tzar, those that caused them, those that oppressed them. He saved the Jewish people from those that oppressed them. That was the first Mashiach. Okay, who else did Bilam prophesize about? Have a Mashiach Achar in Shebet Mibanov, Shemashiyas Yisrael Bachareno, and in the last Mashiach, that he will stand up from the children of David HaMelech, that he will save the Jewish people in the end of the days, in the end. Okay, so this, or where here he's just saying a fact. So now the Rambam is going to quote the psukim in this week's parsha that it's going to be, it's Shvi, right? In the Chumash of Shabbos. So this is what it says. Over there it says, in Parshas Bilam it says like this. At enu v'lo yato, I see him. At enu, I see him v'lo yato, but not now. Says the Rambam explains. He says, Zed David, this is referring to David HaMelech. I see him. You're talking about a person. Not I see some event. Ashurenu v'leikariv. I see him, but it's not close. Zeh Melech HaMashiach. This is referring to the King Mashiach. Dorach koichav miYaakov David. A star will come out of Yaakov, will shoot out of Yaakov. Who is the star referring to? David. This is referring to David HaMelech. Hakom Shevet MiYisrael Zeh Melech HaMashiach. A ruler. The literal meaning of a shevet means stick, a staff. But rulers have their staff, have their stick.
A scepter.
Scepter, right. So, right. Exactly. So it says, "Vakom shevet mi Yisrael." A staff will get up, which means a ruler will get up from within the Jewish people. Who is this ruler referring to? Who is Bilam prophesying about? Zeh Melech HaMashiach. He was prophesying about the King Mashiach. He's this ruler. Now the pasuk continues. Umachatz, he will hit Pa'asei, the corners of Moav. Like Peya means a corner of a field, or Peyas in the corner of your hair. So he will hit the corners of Moav. Who is this referring to? Zeh David. This is referring to David HaMelech. Now the Rambam proves and says, Bilam said this many years before David HaMelech, a few hundred years before him. Or a few like 500 years before him, about or whatever, 400 years at least, because the Gilgal, Nevigivoin, at least between 400 to 500 years before. That's what Bilam says. It will hit a part of Moav. Says the Rambam. This is referring to David HaMelech, and like we see clearly, it says elsewhere in Tanakh that that's what David did. It says Vayaches Moav. It says that David hit Moav. And he measured the dead bodies with a rope. So we see actually that this prophecy was fulfilled in David HaMelech. He hit a part of Moav. Pasuk continues, Bilam continues and says, "V'karkar kol bnei sheis." He will rule over all of the children, all of the descendants of Sheis. Explains the Rambam, who is this person that's going to rule over all of these descendants, who is Bilam meanings about Mashiach. This is referred to the King Mashiach. And where do we see? How do we know? Because there's another pasuk that says in Zechariah and also in Tehillim, Shneimar a boy. It says in regards to Mashiach, he will rule over from one ocean to the other ocean. So we see that Bilam says he's going to rule over the whole world, basically. And we see another pasuk that's talking about Mashiach. It says he's going to rule over the whole world. Edom will be an inheritance to him. He will inherit Edom. Zed David. This is referring to David HaMelech. Like we see, the pasuk clearly says that Edom became slaves for David HaMelech. So we see that this pasuk was fulfilled. Bahoya Yeresha Sayer, the Rebbe says it's a mistake to have the word of a goymer. It needs to be the word Sayer over here. Sayer will be an inheritance. The pasuk continues. Who is this referring to? Zeh Melech HaMashiach. This is referred to the King Mashiach. Shenamar va'olu meshim ba'atzir v'goymer. The pasuk says that the redeemers will go up to the mountain of Tzion. Lishmait Hasareisov. The Rambam doesn't bring the rest of the pasuk, doesn't bring the next few words, but the pasuk continues and says that this redeemer will go up to the mountain of Zion, of Tzion, to judge the mountain of Asaph. So we see that Mashiach is going to rule over Asaph. Okay, so we just learned the Rambam. Now we're going to ask some questions.
What's that?
This is the Sefer of Malchus.
Oh.
Whatever. It's the same thing, but this I thought about it. We could learn it from something the Rebbe gave out. It's more geschmack than to just learn it out of a printed book.
You have a chumash? It'd be nice to see this. It's nice in the chumash.
To see the psukim, to see how the Rambam breaks it down. You see, I have a million svarim.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, open it up. Chaval, I don't have. I have a chitas. You have a chitas?
I have the chitas on the Chayenu.
Okay, so go to the next. Go to Shvi. You could go to the next day.
On Thursday.
You could go next.
So it's on Shishi.
Yeah,
Shvi. It's on
Shvi.
Shvi. It's a Shabbos parsha. Oh, let me just put next. Okay.
Here. Wow. Look at this pasuk 17. So you know this pasuk because you read it a million times, like you were into it. So now you could like see what the Rambam is doing.
I see it, but not now. It's everything not in the near future. A star will rise from Yaakov, and a ruler will be appointed from Israel. He will slay the leaders of Moab and penetrate all the children of Shes.
Right. So what does the Rambam do over here? The Rambam brings you this pasuk, and he just broke it down.
I see it. He talks about I see it.
So not the Rashi, just the pasuk itself. So just do the next pasuk.
Okay. Edom will be overrun, and Seir will be overrun by its enemies. Israel will become prosperous.
Right. So now the Rambam, what did the Rambam just do? The Rambam brought these psukim, and he broke it down. He said, "Who's I see him and not now? That's David HaMelech. I see him and not close. That's Melech HaMashiach. A star will come out of Yaakov. That's David. The ruler will get up from with Israel. That's Mashiach."
So the pasuk,
he takes the pasuk.
The pasuk that Bilam is saying, he keeps switching back and forth who he's talking about.
He's talking about two Mashiachs, two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they did it that way. That they didn't do like one concise thing. Or this is what the first.
Right. So that's
the second Mashiach.
That's exactly what the Rebbe is going to. Very good.
It's like they're all part of the same.
Right. So this is exactly what we're going to say right now. One of the things that's gonna the answer to your question will be answered based on Hashem with what we're gonna say over here. Now the question on the Rambam is like this. The Rambam we mentioned last week also. Each book has its purpose. Purpose of a siddur is this is what we mentioned last week is to give you prayers, right? Purpose of a book is to give you prayers.
A siddur, yeah.
A siddur. Imagine you open up a siddur, and then it's like a Gemara. You start seeing some whole people, and this. You say, what's going on over here? Is this a siddur or this is a Gemara? What if you open up a Gemara, and then you see Ashrish, right? It doesn't make sense. Each book has its purpose, its goal, what it's meant to do. You can't make a salad.
Yeah.
The purpose of the Rambam is a book of laws. Laws means
Black and white.
black and white. This is what you should do.
Yeah.
The Rambam doesn't bring proofs
And arguments.
It doesn't do right. It's not doesn't make people pull it. But the Rambam usually doesn't bring proofs for whatever he says. The proof is Allah. He just says what Allah is. Doesn't say, "Oh, what's my proof?" Because it says here, it says there, it says there. He doesn't do that. He just tells you what Allah is. Why over here is the Rambam bringing proofs? And not only that, why is the Rambam bringing two proofs? Right? What's not enough with the first proof? So this answer we already said to this question because you asked it in advance. Because why does the Rambam need to bring two proofs? Hashem will bring you to Eretz Yisrael, and then also the whole thing from Bilam. Why can't he just bring the first proof? Hashem will bring everyone to Eretz Yisrael. So the answer to that question is what you just said. What you asked was because the first proof doesn't say Moshiach, it just says Hashem. And you need to believe in
proof that there's a Geula.
that there's a Geula. Exactly. There's no proof that there's a Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rambam has to bring the second proof to let us know that there's not just a redemption prophesied in the Torah. Hashem didn't only tell us about a Geula, but Hashem told us about a person, a physical person, that he will bring the Geula.
Oh, he's not talking about Moshe.
He's talking about Mashiach. This is what we're saying over here. These circles, exactly what we want to be.
The first one,
When he's saying that a star is going to be.
No, right. So the first half is David HaMelech. This is what we just read, this whole Rambam.
Uh-huh.
The one half, the Rambam says, one term is referring, it's like a repetitive term, right? It's like saying the same thing twice, every single thing over there. So the Rambam explains that one half is going on David, and the second time is going on Mashiach. You're not talking about the same person again and again.
Because if you say, it sounds like very similar. If you read the Psukkah, that's why it's good to see the Chumash. If
You see it, sorry, what does it say? Read the pasuk in English.
Which one? I see it.
Yeah.
I see it, but not now.
Yeah.
I continue. What does it say?
Yeah. I observe it, but not in the future.
Right.
Okay,
Isn't it the same thing?
Why you say the same thing?
Right.
And
I
they-
see it,
they-
but not now. Observe it, but not in the future.
So you're
It's
saying
saying not in the present and not in the future.
No, but that's the bad translation.
yeah, it's not so. I
It's
observe
not
in
in the
this.
near future.
Not in the near future.
In the near
Okay.
future.
Okay.
Not now and not in the near future.
So you but it's
No,
very
they're saying the same
they're,
thing.
they're different.
You can
They're,
see
they're,
some
different.
they're different, but they're very similar. But the Rambam's saying it's not the same thing. It's not repetitive. He's talking about two different people. The first part is talking about David HaMelech, the first time.
I
The
see
second,
it, but not now.
yeah. And the
I
second
observe
time,
but
observe
not
it
in
and
the
not
near
close, not in the near future, whatever. That's Melech HaMashiach. Again, what does the pasuk continue?
future. A star will rise from Yaakov,
Yeah.
and a ruler will be appointed from Israel. So
Sounds
this
like
is different people as well.
So that exactly. So the Rambam says the star will come out of Yaakov is David HaMelech. A ruler will get up from
Okay.
Israel. The king is going on Mashiach.
And a ruler will be appointed from Israel.
Right. Not,
We're going to appoint.
we're not going to the point. Hashem is going to the point. We're going to help. We help Mashiach. Yeah, but Hashem appoints him. Now, what
He
the
will
pasuk
slay the leaders of Moab and penetrate all the children of Shes.
Okay, so we'll slay the leaders of Moab that's going on David HaMelech. And the Rambam proves to you that he did it.
Okay.
Now, and what's it say? And he will what?
Penetrate all the children of
Of
Shes.
Shes, that's going on Mashiach.
Oh, he's okay. Back and forth.
Exactly. Now continue.
Who are the children of Shes?
That Shes is basically the whole world. And
Cain, who were the Adam and Chava, right? They had three children.
Oh,
we know about Cain, Hevel, and Chase.
Okay.
So the whole world came
The whole
from
world
Chase
is
because
from
Hevel was killed before he had children.
Cain got
Cain
punished.
Got punished and then wiped
Right.
out. All his descendants got wiped out in the flood.
Oh,
So the only one who came, the whole world exists from Noah, and Noah was from Chase.
so he's gonna penetrate, meaning he's gonna go into their heart.
He's going to rule over. The Rambam brings a pasuk. There's different mafarshim on that, and there's a lot to talk about.
Word kakar is a very weird word.
Right.
Doesn't that go?
The Balaturim says one way, and Rashi says another way, and Ukula says this way. whatever it is, but he's going to rule over. Let's go according to the Rambam over here. He's going to rule over all of Bnei Shais,
Mm-hmm.
and that's referred to Mashiach. Now the pasuk continues.
Edom will be overrun.
That's going on David HaMelech.
Edom was overrun by David HaMelech.
Yeah, and he brings a pasuk that shows you, that tells you the history, that records the history, that says that's what he did.
And Seir will be overrun by its enemies, Yisrael.
That's Melech HaMashiach, that he'll rule over Seir.
What is Seir exactly?
Seir is Esav, but there's the nation, and then there's the land.
Seir, yeah.
There's the people that live in the land, and then there's the whole country, the whole people. Not only, right? So what did it says over here? Right. So by David HaMelech is Edim is only Anshe Ha'ir. It's only the people that live in the city.
Mm.
By Mashiach, he's going to rule over everyone, the whole nation, and the whole their whole being. Not only just a few. It's not only people from the city. It's the whole entire world. So basically, right. So you got the plus. You got the.
So it's basically saying that Israel will destroy its enemies. It'll overrun its enemies.
So that's referred to Mashiach, Malach HaMashiach.
And Israel will become prosperous.
So that's Mashiach, right? That's Mashiach.
That's like what's happening now.
Yeah, it's starting to be
like Israel is overrunning its enemies
to a certain extent. Yes, obviously we need it to be much more than the way it's now, but it's
how much more going to be? What do you mean?
It's going to be completely. There's going to be no enemies at all. No Gaza, no Gaza, no
we take them
Hamas,
out.
no China, no Hummus, no Hezbollah, no nothing, no
we
Iran.
Take them out and plant the flag type of thing. Like this is now us. We are here.
Not only plant the flag, but we're going to conquer them from their core essence. There's going to be no enemies for the Jewish people.
They're done. They're not even rising up again. Like there's no.
Everyone's going to be slaves. That's what it says over here. They're all going to be slaves, and they're all going to be
slaves to the Israel.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be our. They're not going to have.
If we know this information, why don't we just take advantage of it?
We should. Question is if the
politics will allow it.
Yeah, if all these politicians, whatever. But soon Malach HaMashiach said to come, and that's the whole point.
You think
the Malach HaMashiach, he will for sure do this and fulfill it all the way.
Yeah.
So now,
is that something that would expedite the Moshiach? Is if Israel just took control and said, we are going to rule over everything here, and
that's the way the Rebbe wanted for sure. If Eretz Yisrael, if all these Arabs, you would knock all these Arabs out and not give them any land, and have a strong Eretz Yisrael should be only for Jewish people. Gotta have all these guys in the Harabais, should be treated the way it should be treated at Torah. For sure that this would make the Gula happen faster.
Yeah, like why
if they say you're giving the Arab land and then this and that and all that stuff, so that's obviously not according to the Torah. 100%, you're putting people's lives in danger and whatever.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's like Israel is not taking the strong hand and taking control of everything. The same way that the Holocaust brought about the state of Israel. You can arguably say that, right? Like you had the huge tragedy take place in order to wake up and say, yes, now we can make our own state, our own land, call it our home. And then you also have the October 7th, also something very big and tragic, where now they can rise up and say, now we finally push to the brink and we can stand up and take control and we're going to go into Gaza, we're going to go here, we're going to take out everybody. But why do we wait for something?
That's what they should do, right? They shouldn't wait for a tragedy.
Yeah, why we're
that's actually
we're waiting for
this is actually something with the Rebbe connects it over here was to not to wait for a tragedy. Look what the Rambam brings over here, two proofs for Mashiach, right? The first proof is from where? From Pashas Nitzavim, which is where in the end of the Torah. the second proof that Rambam brings from where? From Parshas Bilam, which is in Chumash Bamidbar. This is seemingly not in order, right?
Yeah.
Parshas, the first proof is brought from book number 5. The second proof is brought from book number 4. Why isn't the Rambam going in order? Yeah.
Why is he bringing a proof? Why is he bringing two proofs? Why is he bringing the two proofs not in order?
Exactly. So this is the question. Why is it not in order? So the Rebbe, first of all, so the Pashta answer is because the Rambam wants to show you where it says it clearly in Torah. That's why he brings Parshas Bilam is not a clear proof. Like you said, Rashi says it's going on David. The Ralbag, all the Mepharshim don't say that it's going on Mashiach. It's not. Bilam doesn't clearly say Melech HaMashiach. He says, I see him, I see it, he'll do this, he'll do that, he'll do this and that. He doesn't say clearly. Therefore, and the Rambam says, if you don't believe in Mashiach, you're denying something that it says clearly in Torah. So the Rambam needs to bring first the clearest proof.
Well, the first proof is not a proof for Mashiach; it's a proof for Geula.
Yeah, but that's what first. The Rambam connects them. First of all, for this idea of Geula, even though it's not Mashiach, the Rambam needs to bring first something that's clear.
Clear Geula.
And that's what the Rambam, right after the first proof, what does the Rambam say? The Eilu, where is it? The Eilu advarim amufurashim b'Torah. These words that are said clearly in Torah, they include everything that was said through all the prophets. Only after the first proof the Rambam says it. The Rambam doesn't say it after the second proof, because the second proof from this week's parsha is not clear. Do you see in the Psukim it says Melech HaMashiach anywhere? Doesn't say that.
It's not even clear it's talking about Geula.
And it just says him, he'll come, he'll do this, he'll be a ruler. So the Rambam says it's talking about David and Mashiach. Therefore, even though this is brought earlier in Torah, but the Rambam doesn't bring it first because it's not a clear proof. The Rambam needs to bring first, not what it says earlier in Torah. He needs to bring what's clear. What's clear, the second, from what's brought later in Torah in Parashas Nitzavim. Understand?
What year was the Rambam alive?
About 800 years ago. 800, 900 years ago.
They say he lived because in the secular years, like 1135, around 1135 to like 1135 to 1208 or something like that.
So in his time period, was he confident that Mashiach would come? Like any?
He was worthy of being Mashiach in his time, yes, for sure. And he even made a ketz. He said Mashiach's going to come. He wrote a ketz and he got his tape on it. He basically made a deadline. He said Mashiach's going to come. And the date that he gave was 5 years after his Ptirah. But he said it before. So he could have lived technically till then. And he held that that's the Be'ita. Be'ita is 5 years after his Istalkus. What would it be Achishana? For sure during his lifetime. And he was Mizera David HaMelech. The Ruzhin there's a cipher. They write clearly that the Rambam, why did he write a book of halachas that have in it all the halachas that are applicable to the times of Mashiach? Why? And why did he write Hilchos Mashiach? Because he believed that the Mashiach would come in his times and it would be applicable. And he even believed that he was Mashiach himself. That's what he writes. Actually, I brought it over in one of the footnotes.
Who said that?
Is that one of the quotes?
The Ruzhin.
Who's the Ruzhin?
He is one of the Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov.
If you believe that you're
does
that disqualify you as Mashiach?
Hashem Shalom, no.
Moshe Feinstein. No, there's a famous story.
Rambam,
There's a famous story. It was from Moshe Feinstein.
Teva Beis Yisrael. This is where it says, Harambam Oyor is Goyal Tzadek, Sharei Chiber Chiburoi Al Kol Adinim Shem Neigim Mizman Azerach Nemesa Mashiach. And so too it says in this. So here he says the first part. It just says that because he made a book that has all the laws that are applicable in the times of Mashiach, is because he held the Mashiach would come in his lifetime. Okay, that's number one. And the Sefer Binin Shleima on Mesachas Avis, it says over there that Rav Kodesh Misadigura, the son of the Ruzhiner, said, "Haramim also alocham psuka mitam Ki hu hoya b'malchus beis David v'rotzu li is Mashiach. That's what he writes. He didn't. He says the Rambam made halacha psuka for the whole halachas of the Torah because he came from the house of David. He was Mizera David from Rabbeinu Hakadosh, which is Beis David, and V'rotzili is Mashiach, and he wanted to be Mashiach. That's what he writes.
There's a story that with Moshe Feinstein, he had to get a pacemaker put in. So he was doing research beforehand if it would possible him from being on the Sanhedrin. You know about this?
Really? If you had any kind of
in his cipher in the Igros Moshe, they write is one of the Svarim they have is told this, and they bring the story over there.
So he was planning for when Moshiach comes, he's going to need to be a Sanhedrin, and he felt
that he was right.
He was
if someone knows who he is, it doesn't disqualify him. The Gemara says in Soita, the Gemara says in Soita that wow, my memory. It says over there that Mishameis, I think Rebbe, Batla Anova Viras Chaitz. When Rebbe was lifter, there's no more Anova, no more humility, and no more fear of Hashem. So when we open up the Gemara, I should make
anybody nowadays that feels like they are the Moshiach.
What do you mean by nowadays?
Like they publicize?
Someone that's currently
exists in this generation. That
I don't really know.
A Jew or a Christian.
So you turned off.
Be a Jew, right?
Obviously, this is what we're saying. We're descendant of David HaMelech.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me open up the Gemara. I'm pulling it up right now. So so you know what he hinted it very, very clearly. If you're gonna ask me, I think he did say it. He didn't say, "Hello, guys, I'm Moshiach." He didn't say it like that.
Right.
But he said it. He made it. He basically said it, but without saying, "I am Moshiach." He said it, and when they said it, he didn't. He encouraged, like he did it. Whatever. There was different. Oh yes, I was right. It says. Okay, so we're going to finish one thing at a time. Okay, let me just read this piece, then I'll continue. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it says over here in the Gemara site, when the Rebbe was, I got right, was right with that one. When the Rebbe was, the Mishnah says, when the Rebbe was nostalgic, there's no more anava, no more humility, and no more fear of Hashem. So the Gemara says, Amalei Rabbi Yosef, so Rabbi Yosef says to Latana, he tells to the Tana, the Mishnah, the one that wrote this Mishnah, yeah, it's Tana to Reb Meir, he tells him, Loitismi Anova, don't write in the Mishnah that when Rebbe was Nifter, there's no more humility. There's no more people that have humility. Rebbe was someone that had humility. He had fear of Hashem. So after he was Nifter, he said, there's no more people that have humility and fear of Hashem. Rabbi Yosef tells him, don't say that. Don't say that in the Mishnah that there's no more people don't say that there's no more people that have humility and a fear of Hashem. Why? The Ikana, because I'm here. I'm like Rashi says, Shani Arvisan. I'm a person that has humility. So don't say that there's no more people that have humility. And Rashi actually needs to explain on the pasuk the Ikana. He says Shani Arvisan. And the Rebbe says, why? Because that I am a person that has humility. Why? Because imagine someone saying there's no more people that have humility, and someone stands up and says, "Hey, that's not true. I have humility." You'd say, "What? That's humility?"
Right.
So someone would think that I have humility. Maybe I is the name of a person. Don't say that there's no humility, because because I has humility. Who's I? Or name of a
Maybe
person.
There's a person named Anna.
Right. The Ika Anna. Maybe there's a person called Anna. He says, don't say that there's no more humility because there's Anna. So Rashi says, no, Anna means the literal meaning of Anna. Me. I am a person that has humility. And then Rav Nachman continues, Amalei Rav Nachman, Letisna Yiras Cheit Ika Anna. Don't say that there's people that don't have fear of Hashem because I'm here. I'm a God-fearing person. So what do we see from here, first of all? You have you have these people over here, these big tzaddikim, and what are they doing?
Sounds like they're bragging.
It's not only the so and the Yiras Chait, okay, you can say Av Yiras Chait. But he's saying I'm an Onof. What type of anivus is that? There's a famous joke that the guy says, I'm gonna give this aliyah to the honor of the show. So one guy says, I'm the honor of the show. Okay, says, no, that's not true. I'm the honor of the show. I'm a bigger honor than you. And they're fighting over there back and forth. I'm an honor, right? Such big such it's a famous joke. This is anivus. You're showing off. What do you mean anivus? But that's not what the Gemara says over here. That he says, I'm an honor. So someone that knows who he is and what he has and what he's able to do and his qualities, etc., doesn't mean that he's not that doesn't disqualify him for being whatever he is. And not only that, the chiddush is it's so that it's in regarding humility. You're saying you have humility is not an opposite of being someone that has humility. Understand? So too in regards to Mashiach or anything else, if someone knows that he comes from the house of David, which that's the side of Mashiach, and he does all the things that Mashiach needs to do, he's doing it. He's not doing it to be Mashiach. He's doing it because this is what needs to be done. Because this is what Hashem wants. And now he sees, oh, I'm doing whatever Malach HaMashiach needs to do. If Hashem wants me, first of all, Mashiach is not something that we decide who's a Mashiach. It's not, if Hashem appoints him to be Mashiach, what is he going to fight with Hashem? Hashem wanted to make Moshe Rabbeinu Mashiach, the Redeemer, and he didn't want, but Hashem made him. Malach HaMashiach also. It's not up to him. If he fits to be Mashiach, and he has all the signs, and he knows that, if someone knows that he fits to be Mashiach, there's nothing wrong with that. And especially if he really, really fits. He's not just like some you have all these whatever these crazy people. They say I'm Mashiach, some guy, walking around with white clothes and a shofar all over Yerushalayim, maybe riding even on a white donkey. Hey, I'm Mashiach, trying to convince. You know how many people? I mean, I saw such people.
Yeah.
Right, this is Mashiach. Give me a break. I mean, because maybe this guy needs to be in a hospital or based in Mishagoyim or I don't know what. These people don't live in. But if someone is worthy of it, he fits. He fits to all the signs the Torah says, and he knows that it's not a problem. He has to fool himself, say, "No, I'm not." It's what I'm saying.
But you can't come out and say, I am.
It doesn't say that anywhere that he can come out and do that. The Torah doesn't say the Mashiach can come. He's not allowed to come and say, "I'm Mashiach." It doesn't say that.
Why doesn't he base?
That's right. That's the next part. But I want to. I don't know how much time I have.
That's the next
That next Farbrengen. I want to just answer this first.
Doesn't it say that Moshiach is going to come like in the goof,
For sure, 100%.
like as a live person, a person?
Right.
It's going to be an AI bot.
That's I'm just. A lot of people believe that the Rebbe was the Moshiach.
No one believes that the Rebbe is going to take us out of Golus. Even I believe that Rebbe is Mashiach. I don't think that the Rebbe is going to take us out of Golus to where he is now. Where he is now,
Maybe like not in a group.
Buried, and this his soul is going to bring the Beis Hamikdash and take us out. I don't believe that.
Right.
I believe that he's going to get up. He's going to get up. We all believe in that everyone's going to get up. Everyone, no matter what, for sure.
Yes,
Tzaddikim.
yeah.
We believe in Chesed Meisim. We believe everyone's going to stand up. Your great grandfather's going to stand up. Everyone's going to stand up. All tzaddikim are going to stand up. Whoever's not any different than that. Whoever's going to stand up. And it says tzaddikim are going to get up before everyone else. They're going to be get up first, before everyone. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says this.
Right, Benny?
Heard what?
This that tzaddikim get up before everybody else.
The Gemara says this in Yuma.
The
bodies are intact. The Gemara says this in Yuma. So when the Beis Hamikdash is going to be built, how are people going to know what to do? How do you know how to dress the Kohanim, dress the Levim, did this and that? So the Gemara says.
Moshe Rabbeinu will also come back.
So this is exactly what the Gemara says. Moshe va'ari nimohem. That's exactly what I'm about to say.
What did they?
Moshe va'ari nimohem. Moshe va'ari will be with them then. And Rashi says over there, what it says that tzaddikim komim l'tchiyah miyad. Tzaddikim will be resurrected, will get up right away. They're not going to wait years and years later.
Right.
It says l'shibana beis hamikdash. Right when the beis hamikdash is going to be built, Moshe, Aaron, everyone's going to be on site.
What a world Hashem created, huh? Well, what about this? If the Rebbe had the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu, as some may argue, which goof is the neshama going to go into?
Moshe Rabbeinu is neshama.
Yeah,
But it says Moshe Rabbeinu is in every Jew. You also have a piece of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not a problem to have
a
soul.
body of the Rebbe and a body of Moshe come back.
Yeah, for sure. Moshe Rabbeinu. Why was he buried in the desert?
So you can't find him?
No, because he needs to be. The Rebbe says a real Rebbe doesn't leave his chassidim alone. Moshe Rabbeinu was the first Rebbe, and a real Rebbe. He can't leave his whole generation in the desert. Yeah, you're not going to leave his whole generation buried in the desert. His generation was in the desert, and he's going to go to Eretz Yisrael. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Bye bye. He's going or be buried in Eretz Yisrael. No, he's buried with them in the desert.
His generation,
And when Moshiach is going to come, he's going to be resurrected. Or Moshe Rabbeinu says he's still alive. Moshe Rabbeinu, whatever it is. But Moshe Rabbeinu's body is going to be his with his whole generation, and he's going to lead them into Eretz Yisrael. That's what the Bible says.
Come back. Moshiach doesn't come in our lifetime.
He's going to come in our lifetime.
He will come in our lifetime.
Yeah, he will. That's what we have to believe. We have to wait every day.
Yeah.
We got to hope every day. Every day. Especially that the Rebbe told us that this is the generation. So for sure we have to expect it to be for sure in our lifetime. That's the minimum. That's the minimum we have to believe today. For sure not. And
Rambam doesn't talk at all. He's talking about Chesed Mason.
Right. Correct. He doesn't even talk about miracles. Because that's a second kufa, that's a second period. That's a whole nother Farbrengen. We have a lot of Farbrengen.
It's one of the Zijikim Likrim.
Exactly. And he says it in the Geras HaTshuva. Because Chesed Mason and Mashiach is two separate things. It's not connected. Mashiach is one thing, like in the Eker, Mashiach is Yud Beis, Chesed Mason is Yud Gimel. It's two separate things. Mashiach is bringing Shleimus HaTorah mitzvahs.
So if you think that the Rebbe is going to come back to the Mashiach, then you have to have to happen first.
No, now let me tell you something else. There's a story.
There's an order to it, right?
Right.
Because if you hold Chesed Mason is going to come after Mashiach, you have a problem.
So now,
but the Rambam says,
I'll answer your question. Just
what he says over here, he says, that's
something else. Too much things flying all over the table. Too much in one shot. 1 second. But I could answer that also.
Sure. Okay.
We have challah on the table and challah on the table. Both ways. And the Gemara says that Rabbeinu HaKadosh would learn with the Caesar. He would learn with the Caesar. He would learn with the Caesar. And the Caesar didn't want anyone to know that Rabbeinu HaKadosh is learning with him. Right? So they would go to meet up in some cave, and the Caesar would bring with him 2 soldiers. When he got there, to lead him there. When he got there, he killed one. And he learned with Rabbeinu HaKadosh. When he got back with the other one, he killed the second one. He's a little cuckoo, but whatever. But he didn't want to know.
They wouldn't spread any word.
Right, no one would know.
Yeah. He couldn't just say, if I hear anything, you tell me.
He didn't want no one to know, and that's it. So one day, he comes to the cave, and Rabbeinu HaKadosh is sitting there with one of his students. So he tells him, kill him. He says, I killed my guards. I don't want no one to know you have to kill this guy. So Rabbeinu HaKadosh says, no, this guy's a malach. He's not a person.
He made it up.
So when he says, look, you just killed your guard, Mr. Shmagegi, whatever his name is. He goes outside, and he walks inside with the guy that he just killed. He resurrected the dead. He did Chesed Mason like this on the spot. So the Caesar said, he's not a malach. I'm not stupid. He said, Zuti the Isbochu Machaya Mason. Even the smallest Talmidim of you, even the smallest Talmud Chacham within you, has the power to resurrect the dead. Even a goysha, even a goy, it's not a proof that he's a malach. What do we see from this? that tzaddikim have a koyach, for sure, Hashem has a koyach, to make tchias hameisim, whoever he wants, whenever he wants. And I don't, there is the era of tchias hameisim. That's one thing. Then there is tchias hameisim that happened in the history in the past. The Chazkel Hanavi, the whole of Torah over there of Shabbos Cholamoid Pesach, he was Machayim Meisim, and you have all these stories throughout history. I'll tell you a crazy story. Wow, I saw this printed. The story goes like
So with
this.
Alicia, right?
Alicia, but I'll tell you a later story. The story was with the Chassam Sofer. It wasn't too many years
But I
ago.
don't know any stories where someone did Tchias Hameisim on themselves.
No, so Hashem is going to make the Tchias
Someone
Hameisim.
else had to, the tzaddik had to
Hashem-
be Mechayim Hameisim.
Yeah, but the point is that Hashem can be Machayim Meisim over here for
Of
sure.
course.
But Hashem can be Machayim
You see,
Meisim.
David,
The point
Mechayim Hameisim
the
Ato,
point,
not
right? But
Moshiach.
the point I'm trying to say is, and listen, tzaddikim have a koyach even if they're meisim, they have a koyach to be machai themselves. That's not a problem. The neshama, people go to them as oil. You know how much tzaddikim have a koyach for sure. They have koyach even when they're in Gan Eden, they can make their neshama come back into their body. They have the koyach. There's such a thing. It's not like, oh, he's not alive, so he can't do anything. No, he could do many things. The Maisa goes like this: there was a person, he got married to a woman, and okay, they didn't have kids, and this woman got very, very sick, and she's on her deathbed, and she's crying, crying, crying. Her husband says, speaking to her, and she says, I know that after she's going to die, you're going to marry someone else, you're going to forget about me, right? And I'm not going to be on and she was very, very upset. So the husband promised her, I'm not going to marry anyone after you die.
Wait, they didn't have kids?
He didn't have kids.
Mm.
He promised her and this, and he swore
What
and
an
whatever.
evil woman. You see how controlling women are?
Yeah,
Even
why
when
didn't
you're
she want
dead, they want to prevent you from doing what you're living your
Yeah,
life.
but she was very.
Why didn't she want to have kids?
No, but she was very depressed, very
Unbelievable.
sad that you're going to forget about me and let me alone, whatever. Okay, whatever. This is the story.
Aren't you supposed to leave your wife after 10 years if you don't have a job together?
Yeah, I actually spoke about this today in the morning. You were there. I said it to you. Who was listening?
I've heard it before.
I told it to the guy next to the Minchas Salazar, the Munkacher.
Yeah.
Munkacher ever was married. He got married. He lived with for 10 years. He didn't have kids, and by his chasana, all the tzaddikim came and they said all the malachim were dancing by the chasana. It was like he didn't have kids. He divorced his wife, and he remarried, and he only had one daughter. Whatever. That's a side point.
Yeah.
But he didn't have any kids, and now this guy, after after the shiva of his wife, he starts getting a little depressed. Oh, now what did he do? Why did he make such a promise? He can't marry anyone. He can't do anything. He's stuck.
You can't.
And this guy is living his life, depressed guy. Had no
Is
kids.
this a joke?
It's a real story. Maisa Shahoya.
When?
With the Chassam Sofer.
Oh, I'm so okay.
So now this
Yeah.
guy, he's depressed and he's going on another month, a whole year. Some Sofer sees this guy is very depressed, calls him in, says, well, why are you so depressed? He said, I can't get married, can't have kids. He swore to his wife, he made a shvua that he's gonna not marry. So he tells him, your shvua is not chal meikora. He says you call a master or masha kosav by Torah to know about if someone swears to do something against the Torah that it doesn't even chal to begin with, and he told him you have a chiyuv to have kids, to be married, and you're not allowed to be by yourself. Blah 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 blah. You're allowed to get married. Okay.
He's an old man now, no?
He's not so old, whatever. It could be he's a young guy who says he was old. So so this guy went, found a shidduch, he remarried, he got married.
Had kids
Day after the chasana, this guy got sick and died.
because of the shavua.
And right away, everyone went to the Chassam Sofer, and they told him, look what you did.
Yeah.
You made him be over on the shul and whatever. You just look what you caused. So some Sofer called the Chavraya Kadisha,
For the back.
people that buried him, and he gave them. He said, before you bury him, come to my office. Okay, he gave them a piece of paper rolled up. He said, when you bury him, you should put this in his hand and bury him. That's what they did. Took him, they buried him, and
With the family papers.
well, now they buried him. The next day, people are leaving shul after the shir with Rabbi Zagri. Now people are finished davening,
Off
Shacharis,
to work.
going to work, and goes inside his Tesla. People finish davening, and all of a
Some
sudden
people walking across the street.
they
Oh,
see, yeah, all of a sudden people see this guy that just died and was buried the day before. He's walking down the street with his tachrichin.
with his what?
He's walking down the
It's his
road.
shroud, burial shroud.
When
Oh,
they
the
buried him, the guy was
Okay.
walking around, and everyone was freaked out. Everyone was running away. This guy was just like, what's going on with this guy? Was alive. He's dead. They buried him, and now he's walking around again. And he's walking down the road straight to the Chassam Sofer's office. Goes all the way down. And he enters his office, and some Sofer said, "Okay, I knew you were going to come." And basically, his wife over there in Shamayim said he made a sure that he's not going to marry, and she demanded that he should come back after he was over, and she caused that he should die, whatever, should come back to
People
Shamayim.
have that much.
But Chassam Sofer
Yeah.
said he made a psak din. He made a psak din that Al Pi Torah he needs to be alive. So chutzpah, she doesn't have the koyach to be stronger than the Torah. The Torah says that he needs to be married, and he passed him that he should have tchis hametzim.
It's like a court case set between heaven and earth.
Yeah, and he made a psak din, and that's the way it goes. That Hashem goes according to what Beis Din Shalmata says. And he had tchis hametzim. He got back up, he got back to life, and he was walking around the road again. And some Sofer said, "Okay, now get married, whatever, continue." So he said he was going to marry me, like such a guy. So the some Sofer was a Majbia. He brought the Malach Hashikha, the Malach that causes people to remember and forget things, and he made everyone in the town forget what happened.
So how do we know the story then?
So the Sam Sofer wrote down the story. It's wrote down in the Pinkus of the Chavrai Kadisha. Well, someone asked me the same question, and in the story itself, it says clearly how we remember. Like he made everyone forget. Either he himself wrote the story down, or the Chavrai Kadisha wrote it down. That they were the ones, like some Sofer basically made everyone forget in order for him to be able to get remarried, or he made only people in that town.
Why did he have to get remarried? He was already married to someone.
No, once someone dies, it's Mavato the Kedushin.
You can't worry about bringing the first like cash down.
That's I don't know what that wasn't part of the
And
tonight.
they have to have
She was meant to be sick, and that's what her life was meant to finish off with.
Yeah.
But I'm
But
just
Sam
saying,
Sofer didn't bring himself back to life. He brought
And
someone
then
else
she
back
caused
to
all
life.
these
okay, but it's not a problem. It's not a
How many
problem.
people are watching it?
I don't know. I didn't even see. I Dafka I don't want to see it because it mixes me up. I open up
If
something
there's
else.
100 people, you get mixed up.
No, I don't like seeing whatever. While I'm doing it, I see numbers, people. I see myself on the screen.
That's how you cover it up.
I just covered it up with something else, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But the point of all what I'm saying is the Rebbe, right after his father-in-law was nostalgic, the Rebbe Rayatz, the Rebbe spoke very clearly. The Rebbe said, "My father-in-law is going to come back. He's going to have Chis Mason, and he's going to take everyone out of Golis. He's going to take us out of Golis." That's the way he spoke. So people ask the Rebbe, like you said, first there's going to be Bias HaMashiach, Yemais HaMashiach, in the Beis Hamikdash, Kibbutz Golius, and then later on, whatever, is going to be Tchias HaMeisim. So the Rebbe said that's true generally. The general picture, the general time of Tchias HaMeisim is in the end of days. But Tchias HaMeisim of specific people was in the past in history. And ever since we saw many tzaddikim were Machaya Meisim. They had a koyach to be Machaya Meisim, like this Torah Sam Sofer. For a specific private single person to have Tchias HaMeisim is not the end of the world. It's not something out of the box.
So the Rebbe said that the Friedrich Rebbe was going to be Mashiach.
Yeah, that's the way he smoked. He smoked always. He smoked all the years as a chassid of the Rebbe Yatz. The Rebbe wouldn't say I'm the Rebbe. He would say the Rebbe Yatz is the Rebbe. This is the way he always smoked. So
he was telling us Hasidim.
He was
that
telling
the Friedrich Rebbe was going to be Mashiach.
He was telling that. Yeah, that's the way he would speak all the time.
But even after his Patira.
Exactly. But 40 years later, as long as he was able to talk, that's the way he spoke. The Rebbe didn't speak. And that's another thing I'm thinking to myself. Why the Rebbe didn't wear a shtreimel? The Rebbe, it's an interesting combination. But the Rebbe would always say, my father-in-law, the Nasi Hador, the Rebbe, the leader of the Jewish people. The Rebbe, the Shver, the Rebbe, my father. Well, that's the way you would speak. That's the way you would talk all the time. He's the Nasi, even though he knew that he was the Rebbe and he was the Nasi there. But that's not the way he spoke. He spoke always as a chassid of his father-in-law. That's his style of speaking. And he basically demonstrated to us how we should talk about a Rebbe.
But this is the liquid I want to get to. So the Rambam said you have to be Mamin B'Vis Mashiach and you have to be Mechaka for him. But is there a person has to hold? Is there a chiyuv that you have to believe a particular person is Mashiach? Can you just if someone says the Rebbe is going to be the Mashiach, what if someone's like, I don't know what is going to be Mashiach, but I believe that whoever Mashiach is going to be, he's going to do all the things the Rambam says.
Right.
Is that a chisaron in the mitzvah?
So the question is why, Rabbi Yoel Katz, the TV interviewed him. So he needed to be like politically correct. So they asked him, is the Rebbe Mashiach? So he said, why not? I don't know, you have someone else? That's the way he answered them. He didn't say, yeah, for sure.
The secretary?
He was the Rebbe's service recorder. He was like, he would memorize what the Rebbe would speak.
And then recorded
But it would not only remember, he was like a genius, literally, like he's an extremely deep thinker. And he was like in a different planet, whatever. There's so many stories about this guy. He was totally like his head. He was he was a genius. He had a head like of someone from I don't know when, whatever.
To remember a whole
Farbrengen.
Farbrengen and record it after.
Not only that, he was able like a few days later to sit down and write down the whole thing, almost word for word, the way the Rebbe said it.
It's unbelievable. It's really
he was a
genius
very
level, no?
Yeah, he was extremely genius. So the TV interview him. It's a famous video. His wife then comes in and says, "Bavadaya!" She starts screaming, like, "What are you saying?" Yeah, I asked him, "Is the Rebbe Moshiach?" So she says, "Why not? I don't know. You have someone else?" Then it's yeah, for sure. Then his wife came. She saw them interviewing him. It's part of the video. She like mixes in whatever, and she says, "Bavadai, for sure. What are you saying? Why not? You have anyone else?" Yeah, whatever. But she was
women. They do it again. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
no, but it says the women had more abuna than the men by Mitzrayim. They by the men it says they sang, by the women it says they sang and they played with their tambourines and instruments.
Yeah.
Where did they have instruments from?
They packed them up when they left.
Yeah, they knew that miracles were going to happen and they were going to need to sing, and therefore they already in advance they believed.
This is why we never should let them vote.
The women have more abuna, whatever it is. My point is that if Yoel Khan, the question is why not the Rebbe? You have something against it. Like I'm not telling you, but this guy, if he fits, but is it ma'akev?
Like a Rambam saying, anyone who is not Ma'amin is Kofar B'Torah's Moshe Rabbeinu.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you could say such a thing. No, I don't think so. But Rambam clearly says the signs. But if I wanted to say a whole thing on the parsha, but it looks like we're going to need to make a second. We're going to make a continuation. Maybe tomorrow after davening, if we have some time. Yes.
I just always get stuck on like the thing that I always get stuck on is if we could go back in time and pick someone from the past.
What do you mean pick someone in this?
If someone who passed away could be Mashiach and have a special Tchias Mason,
So why after the Rebbe? Maybe
So,
someone else.
the Gemara said Daniel, whatever,
Daniel, right.
or I'm saying, what about Rabbi Hakadosh himself? Right? Anyone spread more Torah than him? He did the whole Mishnah.
The
whole thing.
So the Rebbe explains this, and he says, it says in Cheskel, David Avdi, Malach Alein La'ilam. Right? It says David HaMelech is going to be a ruler of the Jewish people and the Geula. So now it says there's going to be David Acher, there's going to be a new David, and an old David. There's going to be two David HaMelechs. The new David HaMelech and the old David HaMelech. So the Rebbe says, how does the Rebbe say it? I haven't read the Sefer. But the point is, the Rebbe says, what's about David HaMelech himself? It says in Ishainis, Ish Tzemach Shemai Hu David Ba'atzmai. David HaMelech himself is Moshiach. Right? Well, first the Rebbe doesn't bring that, the Rebbe brings later on. But first, what does it mean? Why can't you say, the Pasuk says, David Avdi, Melech Aleim. David HaMelech is going to be a king over the Jewish people. And that's referred to Mashiach. Right? The Gemara says, David explains this pasuk, and it says it's referring to Mashiach. The question is, why can't we say that it's going on David HaMelech himself? So the Rebbe explains, because why can't we say that David HaMelech himself is Mashiach and we're the same price? Rabbeinu HaKadosh, the Rambam, anyone else in the Jewish
Hillel
HaZaken, right? All these Malchim David from the past, why can't anyone, Mal Shem Tov, the Alter Rebbe, or someone's going to say the Alter Rebbe, or someone else. So the Rebbe explains, which means the Rambam says over here, like we see in Allah Dalit, he says the order of events. Very simple words. He says Mashiach is not someone that shows up by Tchias HaMeisim. The Rambam says Mashiach is not just someone that just shows up in the time of Tchias HaMeisim. Even when tzaddikim come in L'Tchiyah Miyad, when the time when David HaMelech, if there's a chiddush of Tchias HaMeisim of Yechidim, that's one thing. But if we're not going to use that option yet, let's say we're going to use the regular option of all tzaddikim when they have Tchias HaMeisim, which it says clearly by the time of Binyan Beis Hamikdash, right? That's when tzaddikim get up for Tchias HaMeisim. That is way after. Basically, Mashiach needs to be doing his Pa'ulis way before. The Rambam doesn't just say Mashiach is going to come and build the Beis Hamikdash, have a nice day. That's what the Rambam would say. They're very good. Any tzaddik can just get up from the case of Mason and build the Beis Hamikdash. You don't need to have dafka someone. You don't need to have dafka someone alive, and you don't need to have someone, to say dafka someone from from our times. But the Rambam says that Mashiach is someone that needs to be doing Geulas in the world before the Geula, right before the Geula, before the time of Tchias HaMeisim. That's when it needs to start. Not start his Geulas after Tchias HaMeisim. He needs to start off his Geulas before Tchias HaMeisim. He needs to make all these go in the ways of Torah mitzvahs. He needs to fight the wars of Hashem. And then build the Beis Hamikdash and take on that Yisrael. So if he's there in the time before the Geula.
Everyone who passed away already was there before. What do you mean?
But there weren't right before. David HaMelech was a few thousand years ago. Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbeinu Hana, whatever, all these big tzaddikim. The Rebbe was
the Pulos need to happen with close proximity.
Exactly. The Rambam says, in Yahweh Melech Beis David, Yaakov called Yisrael Leilach Malchazik B'Yitcha, Leilach Malchamis Hashem, Eze B'Chaskes Shu Mashiach, Emos V'Yitzlech Obanu Mikdash B'Mkoim Hei. K'mitzvit Chayisrael Eze Mashiach L'Vadim. The Rambam says it's not like B'Chaskes Mashiach. 1,000 years later, he's Mashiach Vadai. And why is he doing all of these things? It's family. this is things that he's preparing the world for the Gula. So if David HaMelech, Hillel HaZarkei, the Rambam, Rabbeinu HaKodesh, wherever it is, they did all of this, and they prepared the world for the Gula, and then all of a sudden they're nostalgic. So now their Paulis are still alive, so to speak. Like it says, Shimshon, Shavah this is Surah Arboim Shani, judge the Jewish people for 40 years. So it says it was only 20 years. Why did it say 40 years? So what it says that even 20 years after his stalkers, the Goyim were scared of the Yidden. And he was, what I'm talking about?
He said there has to be a certain juxtaposition time-wise to these events.
Yeah, so here the Rambam is saying,
but it's not.
That's what I'll show you inside the way that Rebbe says it.
All right, we'll talk about later. But
the point is that it needs.
But
I'm saying by the Rebbe, footnote 6. ולכאורה, הכוח צריך לומר שאין דוד המלך בעצמו מלך המשיח. Shia Nasi Lahem La'olam. Even though the pasuk says with David Avdi Nasi Lahem, it says it's not David HaMelech himself. Why? So the Tchilas Hu'ulas Melech HaMashiach Tia Koidim HaGu'ula. Kamavur Baram HaMelech Esmolach Perikid Aleph Halacha Dalit. Aber Vadai Koidim Tchis HaMesim. Gam de Tzadikim HaKamim Miyad. Kamam Rizal Yom HaMeshe Va'arin Imanu. So Mashiach needs to do his Pulas Koidim HaGu'ula. It needs to be done before the Gula and next to the Gula. And it's to be done to Koidem HaGula, like the Rambam says, which means before Tchias HaMeitzim. So when David HaMelech gets up, it's already too late, so to speak. If Lu Yitzuya, imagine for argument's sake, David HaMelech would have Tchias HaMeitzim 50 years ago, let's say. All of a sudden, David HaMelech comes back, and he's over there doing all of these things.
Was that a quote from something the Rebbe said?
This is a Sikh of the Rebbe. This is a quote from the Rebbe. So if David HaMelech would get up and he would be Koidem HaGula, not the time of Tzadikim coming Miyad, if he would get up then, so here the Rebbe is taking it as a given that when is he getting up? By the time of Tzadikim coming Miyad. Like it says in Yuma Moshe V'Ad. So Moshe, Are, David HaMelech, all the Tzadikim have a specific time when they're meant to get up. There's something extra. If there's a reason for something special, they'll get up even before that. But generally speaking, that's their time. It's not the Tchias HaMeisim later on. That's not the regular Tchias HaMeisim is 40 years after Kibbutz Golius, the Zohar says. But this is the Kibbutz Golius is after Binyan Beis Hamikdash, Binyan Beis Hamikdash, Kibbutz Golius. 40 years later, Tchias HaMeisim. Tzadikim get up miyad right by Binyan Beis Hamikdash. Right by the beginning of the Gula, they're going to get up. Mashiach needs to do stuff before that, before the Binyan Beis Hamikdash, before the time of that Tchias HaMeisim.
So you lived before. Everybody lived before.
No, but it needs to be not just before in history. It's right before the Gula. Means
what's the definition of right before? Who decides what that is? I mean, you can make the
I'm
argument.
just saying, if you look at the Rambam, the way the Rambam says it over here, he says if you have,
you can make the argument that we're in Galus, we're in the Galus. What are we in Galus Yishmael right now? What was it considered? Galus Edom still? Edom. So we're still in Galus Edom. Anybody that was in the Tkufa of Galus Edom could.
No, but the way I understand this Rambam, the Pashta Pshat, that is bringing the Rambam. The Rambam is saying he forces all the Goyim mitzvahs. He fights the words of Hashem, which means he prepares the world for the Geula. It's not just the world needs to be, so to speak, ready for the Geula. And then he builds the Beis Hamikdash to take up. Why does Moshiach need to do all of this?
The next question.
Why does the Rambam say this? Why can't he
do
this?
So we talked about whether or not this is ma'akev, that a particular person is. If it's not ma'akev, then what is it? What's the point? What's the mila?
The mila is if you know that it's that someone in our times is Mashiach, makes the Mashiach
more real,
more practical. We see the Gemara. Gemara says, and I think I saw him before that says, but I'm not 100%. I remember seeing it printed. I just don't know. It's for sure printed. The question is, how back did we trace it? Did I see it from? But it clearly says that the Gemara says that Talmidim of Shiloi said Shilo's Mashiach. The Talmidim of Yanai said Yanai is Mashiach. The Talmidim of Chanina said Chanina is Mashiach. The Talmidim said that their Rebbe is Mashiach, in other words. Why did they do that? This is you guys the same question. What's the nafkamina? Because so first of all, you see the Gemara. Why does the Gemara even ask who's Mashiach? The Gemara asks this question: who is Mashiach? Omarav, who is it? If it's Minchio, it's an Abayna Kodesh. If it's Minsides, Daniel Ishchamudos. Rab Nachman says, I know I'm Mashiach, which actually that answers this question.
So it's sort of like a
He
ground.
said,
You're saying it's
the Gemara is a Gemara. He says, could someone say on himself that he's Mashiach? Does that disqualify? The Gemara says, when it says who is Mashiach, so Menachem says, I am Mashiach. He says, I know. In regards to Mashiach, not only,
He's also Mashiach.
no, that's Yiras Chet.
But the same way you said, like I was saying, you're saying, so the same way the Ram, why does the Ram tell you about Mashiach?
Exactly. Why does he even need to give?
David?
No, why does he even
No,
need
I'm
to?
saying, I remember you saying that the Rambam talks about Mashiach and David, that there was two Mashiach. Why does it tell us about the first Mashiach? What's the point? Because it strengthens your belief in the second Mashiach. So you're saying it's along the same lines. If a person can imagine, a person can say, this person is
Someone from our times is so if the person is
it's kind of a similar mindset of when you tell you about David and Malchus Mashiach.
It makes it more. It makes it. It's not something that never existed. Right. It's not an abstract concept. It's something that was in the world. It happened. So when you talk to someone about someone that lived in our times, I'm not telling you about the Rambam, Rabbeinu Kodesh, Hillel Azaken. I don't know who. I don't know how they look. I don't know nothing. I can't even picture them. But the Rambam, okay, you have this. But you talk about someone that was around over here not so long ago.
But if the Rambam comes tonight, and the Rambam comes back, are you on board?
Yeah, but I don't. But I don't think so. I don't think so. If that's what Hashem wants, I'm accepting anything. But I don't think. I don't think that's the. I'll tell you why. Because the Rebbe didn't only say. First of all, the Chassam Sofer writes, the Chassam Sofer, the Bartanura and Mekillah Sulus, and all the Mefarshim, they write that in every generation, there is a person in that generation, tzaddik, there's one tzaddik in that generation that he's worthy of being Mashiach. If the Yidden are Zoicha, he will be Mashiach. Why do you need to have that? You have the Rambam, you have this, you have that. It's for some reason, it's a one person in that generation. Understand? That in that generation, if that generation is Zoicha, the person from that time, he will be Mashiach. And he will be not the Rambam, not false. It's that person. Now he says, if the Yidden are, so now if he's not Zoicha, if the door is not Zoicha, then he's going to be nostalgic, and another generation is going to start, and there's going to be someone else. And he says, that's the way we're going from the Churban Beis Hamikdash. He says, what does it mean Mashiach was born on Tisha B'Av? This doesn't mean the actual Balak HaMashiach. It says because that's when you need a possibility for someone to take the Eden out of Golus. So right away there was a person born that is worthy of being Mashiach. But when his generation wasn't, so I can say it was nostalgic. And there's someone else, a new person. And he says that's the way it's going on. And he says, but till the time's gonna come, that just like Hashem came to Moshe Rabbeinu by the snare, and he appointed him, and he says, "You're the goyel, and you go to Pata, you go here, go there, do whatever." So yeah, the goal didn't happen that minute; it happened much later. Came to the Yidden, and then you had the 10 markers, then this, and it was a process. But already then Hashem already appointed. The Chassam Sofer says so too. Till the time's gonna come that Hashem's gonna come to this person, to this tzaddik, the Bechol Doir, the Echad, Haroi Mitzidkos Eli is Goyel. But if Shiagi Azman, you go the El of Hashem is Marech V'Yashalchoi. Chol whatever. When the time's gonna come, Hashem is gonna reveal himself to him and let him know that he's the person, and he's gonna send him to take the Eden out of Golus. So it's not Geula yet, but Hashem already appointed someone. So the way the Rebbe spoke, it's like I said before, the Rebbe said, my father-in-law, this is the way he spoke. He says, now, there's no more Menizvi Kurim. There's nothing holding up Some Sefer says in every generation there's someone that's worthy to be Mashiach, but there needs to be a Kubim. There was unwanted things that mixed in, and that held up from Hashem sending him to reveal himself. The Rebbe said, now, we finished everything, and this is already the time of the Gula. We finished all the preparations and all the Simonim and the Gemara of Saitans and Hedrin and all the Midrashim, and it's already Mamash Zman Gula, and any second Gula has to come. So the Rebbe says, Hashem already, um, Mashiach was already got revealed already. That's what the Rebbe's words are. It's not only like until now that was just someone that's worthy of being Mashiach, but we're already like a step ahead again. Because of what the Rebbe's words. So I'm telling you the truth the way it is. I'm not trying to be the Rebbe. You're already talking
But I'm
on the
just thinking,
table
like,
clearly about the Rebbe, so I'm not going to be politically correct or whatever. Like the Rebbe Mamish said that Hashem, the side I'm saying, I could show you inside, but the Rebbe made it clear already that the Rebbe said Hashem already sent. It's just like Hashem sent Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem already sent Mashiach to take us out of Golis. He already sent him. Did he go? Did he take us out of Golis yet? No, he didn't. We still need to do things for him to be able to take us out of Golis. But it's already, understand what I'm saying?
Show me where it says it.
This is the Rebbe says this Shabbos, I can show it to you on the computer or on my phone.
Show it to me later.
Show it to you later.
But,
I'll show it to you in the show tomorrow. He has all those spotted. But that's why I think that the Rambam won't show up. I mean, the Rambam.
But it could be interesting if the Rebbe felt like I saw the Gem video where he was like last with the Shabbos where he was screaming.
Flip over the wheel today, right?
Why are you not? It's on your responsibility, and you have to do it. And he's screaming, right? Like,
so you have to see that the Beis Hamikdash is being burnt in front of your eyes.
What are you saying? It's not my responsibility anymore. You're saying it's not my. He's also saying it's not my responsibility. It's your responsibility.
That's what I showed you on the video on the phone. The lady that was screaming.
But he was saying that in the Gem video last week. He was saying that too.
The Gem video last week, the Rebbe said that the Rogatchover says that the Churban Beis Hamikdash, or the Rosham says the Churban Beis Hamikdash is happening today.
No, but
so says if you see the Beis Hamikdash being destroyed,
I saw him. Arthur showed a video.
Maybe it wasn't last week.
Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. But the Rebbe was screaming that it's not. They said in previous generations relied on the Rebbe and the Tzaddik.
Right, and I know what your video told. It's a Purim Sikha. It's a Purim Sikha, but it wasn't. But it wasn't last week. Last week I was there. It was maybe 2 weeks ago.
But it was he was very screaming. Like,
right. Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, if the Rebbe felt that he was supposed to be his like Mashiach, and Hashem tells him that he's going to be Mashiach, and he's all ready to do it, and these no goodniks over here get together,
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine, like if you're.
You want to take the out of gold, so I want to bring the gold.
Like I'm gonna take my kid to some really fun place, and I come to the house to pick him up and take him to this fun place, and he's naked, he's not dressed, he's not. What are you doing? Hey, we're supposed to get out of here already.
He's busy playing with his little cars. He says, no, I don't want to go on the Six Flags. I want to play with my little toys over here, right? So yeah,
that you get angry.
Just that could explain the Rebbe's frustration. Like the Rebbe
wants. Like I'm ready. I'm here. Where are you?
Exactly. The Rebbe, these tzaddikim, they're so thirsty for the Gula, and especially the Rebbe's complaint. And I think I know what stuff you're talking about. There's 2 times, and
he looked like angry. He was like,
was angry. He standing by his stender, or he was sitting down?
He was sitting.
I can say that's Purim Zayin. But the Rebbe later on was complaining, and he said, like, 40 years I'm with you guys over here. And the Rebbe said, like, nothing's changing. You guys are the same, and it says you guys are not moving. Like, I wanted at least, Rebbe said, to get out of your Golos. Because this time we're in Golos Rebbe says, what's even more bothering is that the people that are still in their personal, private Golos and Avodas Hashem. People are busy with their, like, instead of at least living a private gula, personal gula, you're living in a guladical life. You know what I'm saying? In regards to serving Hashem. The Rebbe says people don't have. They're busy still with all these little, you know what I'm saying? These little ecky becky things. And he's like, I thought you guys are mature. If I wanted you guys to get older and this, get. And that's when he said, the only thing I can do. It's interesting. I remember I thought about it since he said, what can I do is to give it to you. And I think that's what it is. If someone's not mature, let's say a little, if you have, I saw a letter of the Rebbe to some girl, she's writing to the Rebbe that it's very hard for her to decide to do things. She's scared of making the achlata. Yeah?
Yeah.
So she asked her, what should I do? So the Rebbe told her to leave her house, to leave her parents, to go somewhere for a Meshach man that she can ask. And every little stupid thing, mom, which I don't know what to do.
Put yourself, yeah, she has to make decisions.
Put yourself in a place that you have no choice and you have to decide yourself. So maybe that's what the Rebbe is like saying. I'm giving it up to you now. And that's going to make us like wake up and say, okay, so let's stop, clowning around. Okay, so let's get serious.
But I'm not a kofar.
No, you're not a kafir. You're not. It's not. It's not. You could whatever. I know what you could. I remember I was learning the Rambam once, and maybe like if the Rambam says who Mashiach is, so to speak, and then you're not waiting, whatever it is. But I don't think so. It's not. It's not. The Rebbe writes. It's not a chiyuv. It's not a chiyuv. It's not. I don't. It's not active. It's for sure more Buddha and this and that. If
I don't want to be kofar with Torah.
yeah, you are right. You are the generation they know, correct. You want to know, is it nichlal in the chiyuv of machaka lebiyosai
that you're
to
machak
weigh
for a specific
the
person.
that this person, which means if you know, question is what does it mean? Now I'm thinking about it. Okay, whatever. I don't know how much time, but we're talking to analyze this. If you know that someone is Mashiach and you're not waiting, question is how do you know that this guy is Mashiach? If you taka know for sure that he's Mashiach, that it could be, so I think I'm answering because the Rambam says he's Mashiach, but the only way around. He's Becheskes Mashiach. Chazaka is a very strong thing, but when someone has a chazaka that he's a Mashiach, are you mechuyev to wait tafka for him once he has the chazaka? Question is, do you know that I think maybe what could the nafka can be is if you taka know that he's Mashiach, if you know that and he fits and hulu, and then someone's not miming it, why do you mime it? Why is it different than anything else in Torah? Verstehst? If someone doesn't know, like why not? If Torah says something, someone says if this guy learns a lot of Torah, he's a Talmud Chacham, and he's saying he's not a Talmud Chacham. Why are you saying he's not a Talmud Chacham? He's learning, he learns, he knows. Say he is a Talmud Chacham. If this person fits to be something, what's the reason to say otherwise? So what I'm saying, try to analyze it. Is whatever. I have to think it over.
Like let's say
the
times in the Rambam gives an example of how kofar
right.
was Becheskes Mashiach. If the Rebbe Kiva would have at that time he decided about it was Becheskes Mashiach. If he had decided, but I'm not, but he says, I'm not mechake for this.
Other people didn't hold it. Rabbi Akiva, for example, Yechon went to Rasa, told him he's not Mashiach. He said he's not Mashiach, and they had a reason why they said he's not Mashiach, because they held that Mashiach needs to be moedach v'doy. Mashiach needs to be able to judge by smell, and they went to check him out, and he wasn't judging by smell, so they said, "Hey, he's not Mashiach." So they brought a psukim, they had a proof, but so that was before there was a psak din. So you can have Mishamai acted one way, Bisilo acted their way, and after the Aldoch was nifsak, like Mishamai or like Bisilo, whatever. So somebody can now go and act a different way. Like once there's a Aldocha in Torah that that clearly explains what Mashiach is and what's the Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If someone has this, he fits it. So I'm just saying for sure there's a nafka minute if someone knows about it or not. That's for sure. If someone doesn't even know that the Rebbe exists. Yeah, let's say a guy's in Honolulu land and he has no internet, no phone, or nothing. He was born yesterday, okay, he grew up, and he has a Rambam and he's learning and he knows about Mashiach and very good. Yeah, he's hoping Mashiach should come and he's hoping that Mashiach should come the way the Rambam says, a person that's like this, like this, like this, doesn't know the Mavet Sherebe, doesn't know how he looks, doesn't know nothing. This guy is for sure not a koifer. What's this? He has a chiyuv to start now looking around to find who's this person. But if someone is here and he has the simonim, and so why should, if someone's saying otherwise, so it's like why is he saying otherwise? It's like not believing in what the Rambam's saying. In other words, if you say you didn't fulfill the Rambam's simonim, that's one thing. And you're going to say, okay, no, he needs to do this and that. Okay, I hear what you're saying. You have this way of learning that I'm that way. If someone knows that this,
like if Hashem came to you and gave you a nebuah and said this person is the Mashiach, and if you're not machaka for that person,
so why not? Exactly. If the Torah gives you simonim for someone being something and he has it, so why not? Why say, oh, it's not like, why are you not being, why are, the son was saying, why not? If you're saying something doesn't fit, okay, you say it. But if it fits, and you need to wait for Mashiach, so and I think I remember also what's an African minute? Why is it I'm saying that is Becheskes Mashiach if he has these signs? For Oira, maybe it would mean also that when you're Machaka Lebiyos, you need to wait. What's an African minute if this guy's Becheskes Mashiach or not? What am I getting from it? You need to be maybe like this is Mashiach, so you need to be Machaka.
Maybe it could be
for him to come and
no, it could also just be he's saying that like we have to be supporting whoever the Mashiach is. And if the person is B'chas Mashiach, you now have a chiyuv to be
to support. Yeah, so but I'm saying, but it's that also the machaka should be. If you need to be machaka for him to bring the gula, Hashlema. Now he's in God is doing things. He's B'cheskes Mashiach.
But I have to be machaka for exclusively him. I can't have anything. I don't know, but I can see the chiyuv. He's B'cheskes. You have to encourage. You have to donate. You have to be part of it. You have to help. Because but you can't have any thoughts that it's possible that even though this guy's chassidus, maybe someone even greater will come or whatever. Like that's another step to even entertain that I can only be mechaka for this person. Otherwise, I'm a kofer.
No, I'm not saying anyone's a kofer over here. Now you're already speaking like say kofer, but then I'm not saying at all. I'm not starting to give people titles over here. Question is there a chiyuv? I'm talking chiyuv over here. I'm not saying if he's Eina Machaka, for him, he's a kofer, but I'm not saying that. I think, no. Even in the Rambam is, you have to be Machaka. I'm trying to say, is it Nichel in the chiyuvi, in Machaka Lebeyasu? Is someone obligated to wait for that guy? Are you saying if he's missing that he's kofer? No, I'm not saying that. Then you could just say, Eina Machaka Lebeyasu is now waiting for this time that Mashiach, whoever he is going to come and bring the Gula. It's better. It's for sure better when you know it's a specific person because it makes it more a reality and more practical and not some abstract something that you can't picture in your head. Something that you can imagine. This person's going to come, whatever is going to bring the Gula. But I'm thinking, whatever it is, we should, whatever it's good. You're asking good questions and just think it over. I don't think it's considered kfira if someone is missing it. I don't think it's kfira. If he has it, it's for sure going to strengthen it in the chakal of the yosei. It could be something that he should do. If you know it's him, so you should wait for him to do it. But if he's missing that, is he a kofer? I don't think so. No. I remember I thought like that once years ago. Like I tried to see if that works with him, and I told this over to some Rav. And he told me, no. Like, I don't remember how exactly what he told me then. But that's for sure. That's clear. That's the first enough commitment. If you know, if you don't know, you don't know about it. There's no. I don't think it's a field to go look and know who it is. You don't know who it is. But if you know and this and it fits and it's according to Torah, and you know the guy is doing it in front of your face. So if a guy is not believing it, he's basically not believing in what the Rambam is saying. He's not believing in the sabbatim that Rambam is giving. You know,
It's also interesting. What does it
positive.
mean to fight Muhammad Hashem?
Right.
What does that mean to fight?
So it's an interesting question, right? The Rambam doesn't by Muhammad's Gog U'Magog, you write Muhammad's Gog U'Magog. It doesn't say Muhammad's Hashem. Here he says Muhammad's Hashem.
War, physical
Right.
war.
So it's an interesting, it's a very interesting Haggadah, right? There's a lot to talk
Bar
about.
Kokhba literally fought.
It says Muhammad, right? He fought Muhammad.
He fought physical Muhammad.
Right.
Here so it was more.
By him, it was Mamish Muhammad's Kipshuta, right? But there's a lot to talk about this. Even this guy, Rabbi Browdowitz, in his video, right? You sent me, where he mentions. So there he says, "Oh, when Muhammad says Hashem," he mentions. The Rabbi says, the Rabbi for the Rambam says Muhammad Hashem, and you could say that it's fighting against simulation. Or what the Rabbi did with the Shluchim is also fighting Muhammad Hashem, fighting against not to give land to the Arabs. And all these different campaigns Rabbi did. This is him. This is the way he said it. I like the way he just he said it in half, one sentence, he made it clear that all of that can be Michal in Muhammad Hashem. Doesn't need to be, you see, because that's where Muhammad Hashem doesn't say V'yilcha Muhammad's. Then it would sound more like, and even then he could say, whatever. But it's still, but from the term, but the Rebbe has a lot about this, whatever. We can Farbrengen about this Rambam a lot, and we should.
I wonder though if Muhammad also means the distinction between Muhammad's Shuchs versus Muhammad's, you know what I mean?
Right, so the Rebbe talks about this in the back, Muhammad's Choyva and Muhammad's Mitzvah. Yeah. Okay, you made a bracha achreni, right? Yeah, but in the fascist. Yeah. So lacham, the main thing is Ken Lama. אני חושב נשאר, כן נשאר, כן זה מכוסה. L'chaim, the main thing is Moshiach should come. Like we started off this year.
Yeah, before I wake up.
Right, and before you go to your house.
Kids will wake up, we won't have an ear infection.
Right. Before you leave the door, that's the way the Rebbe would talk. Before you make a bracha.
Every time I think I'm gonna have time to do something happens and takes away the time that you
say what with your kid, I saw.
Everything with my family, there's always something.
Hashem should help, everything should be better.
Have a day, there's no meetings. The work, I have no meetings to be on. I'm I'm gonna get some work done here, I have no meetings. And then something happens with the car, something happens and that's it, the day's ruined, it's
Hey, we should shut up, everything should be about coming down. And Moshiach now, we want Moshiach now. Take it from Miyad Ma Moshiach. Just push the door. Yeah. Okay, I get that knock. Thank you for coming. I'll be enjoying all the way. Wow. I